Hello everyone, welcome to Synthesis IAS Academy, a place where blend of ideas take place. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Tumala and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services and I take up issue based current affairs. And this session will certainly help you to crack prelims and mains examination because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. So these keywords and the key phrases which we would be emphasizing throughout the topic will definitely make you get into the practice of identifying the factual, analytical and conceptual questions which will be very useful for prelims, as well as when you are getting into the mode of imbibing or inculcating the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing. Therefore, your answers would be precise and concise in regards to the mains examination. Thereby, you will score higher marks in the mains examination. So, overall, my session will definitely help you to crack prelims as well as mains examinations for the year 2020 as well as 2021. And the topic for today is the carbon tax. So definitely we will focus at what is carbon tax and then how it has initially started, all that we will focus. So when we would be focusing as the topic the carbon tax, it is imperative for you all to know these subtopics of the carbon tax. So I will be focusing on the carbon tax and its purpose. So definitely we will be focusing what is carbon tax and what is the purpose of carbon tax, because this is essential for you so that when you get to know what is carbon tax and what is the purpose of carbon tax, then only you can get to understand the next following subtopics. And then we will also focus on report on global warming and then repercussions of the global warming. That means the consequences of the global warming onto the countries and across the globe also, and what is the need for stronger action. Is there a need for stronger action to counter the global warming and then make sure that the world or the earth is protected? And then the successful implementation of carbon tax. So when the countries have come up with the implementation of the carbon tax or carbon pricing, especially in America and European countries, so we will look at what was the successful implementation, and also along with that we will also focus what are the challenges with carbon taxes and the consequences of the challenges. We will also focus at the way forward for imposing a carbon tax and how India is moving forward as a developing country to make sure that it will also fight against the carbon emissions and then make sure that the carbon tax will be imposed even in India, so that we will make sure that the challenges would be meted and then we will come up with the various measures by imposing carbon tariffs so that we can try to make sure that the global warming is not in a aggressive manner. So the first subtopic in the main carbon tax is the carbon tax and its purpose. So we will look at what is carbon tax, but prior to that we will look at the carbon tax was incorporated into international law in the year 1992 in a summit called Rio Summit. So this is the crucial information that the initial or the first time when the carbon tax was incorporated was in the international law at the Rio Summit in the year 1992. And what does the carbon tax means? It means that whoever is causing any cost to the environment, has to make the payment. They should be made to pay the social cost of their actions. So the one who is responsible with their actions and it is causing the environment in a negative and it is deteriorating the environment, so they are held responsible to pay the full social cost of their actions. And then carbon tax is definitely a specific tax on the consumption of goods which cause carbon dioxide emissions. So here we are talking about the carbon emissions, so we are focusing on the carbon dioxide emissions, and this carbon tax is definitely a specific tax on the consumption of goods. So the goods wherein people consume and which causes by consumption of those goods, and the cause effect is that carbon dioxide emissions takes place. So in that situation, the specific tax, that is carbon tax, is imposed, and carbon dioxide emissions have been identified as a major source of global warming. As it is definitely that it is a major source of global warming, there need to be a very clear incorporation of international law that the carbon tax would be a specific on the consumption of goods whoever is causing damage to the environment, and they have to pay to the social cost of their actions, and thereby the government has been very keen to reduce the carbon emissions and then protect the mother earth. And the carbon tax certainly aims at to make individuals and also the firms to be held responsible and to pay for the cause or for the actions they have taken, which will be a full social cost for the carbon pollution. So the individuals or the firms who are held responsible for the carbon pollution, they have to pay the full social cost, and in theory this tax will reduce pollution, no doubt, because of the imposition of the carbon tax on the people, individual and firms, so that they are part of the carbon pollution and they have to be held responsible for the social cost. So that will certainly reduce the pollution and it will encourage more environment friendly alternatives. So it is not just reducing the pollution, but this tax will certainly encourage the environmentally friendly alternatives, so that we will not just focus on the coal for the industrialization, but we will also look at the alternatives, that is non-renewable energies like solar energy, hydroelectricity energy. So we will be focusing on the wind energy. Those are the environmentally friendly alternatives, and the main purpose of the carbon tax is to internalize this externality. So what does this keyword, the internalize this externality, means that the final price of the good which they are consuming, and it is adding value that to the carbon emissions. So in that regards, they should be including the external cost, not just the private cost. So the final price which is being part of the carbon tax, it includes the external cost, not just the private cost. That is internalize this externality, and that is similar to a polluter who is polluting, or the individual or the firms who are polluting the carbon emissions and who is held responsible for the social cost, is nothing but they are the polluter and they have to pay the principal. They have to pay the principal, and that is what the carbon tax is, and the purpose is definitely that the polluter pays the principal for the social cost of carbon pollution. And now we will look at the report on the global warming. So there is a report by the United Nations, a report which has been taken up and which is being considered between 1998 and 2017. So it has focused at between these years, and it has made it very clear that disaster hit countries reported 2.9 trillion economic loss, direct economic loss because of the global warming. The United Nations report says very clear that 2.9 trillion US dollars has been the economic loss, and with that the 77% is resulting from the climate change itself. So look at the humongous loss what economically the entire world has experienced because of the climate change, because of the global warming, the way it is impacting. It could be excessive flooding, or it could be drought, or it could be again the entire forest, burning of the forest. So these are the one which have created a direct economic losses, and that constitutes 2.9 trillion US dollars. And amongst this, the US has faced the highest losses, and followed by US, the other countries which are part of the entire economic losses is China, Japan, and even India also. And India ranks 5th in the Global Climate Risk Index 2020. So this is another keyword which you need to again focus for preliminary UPSC perspective point of view. So India ranks 5th in the Global Climate Risk Index 2020. And we know that definitely carbon dioxide is the chief culprit in the entire global warming, and that the global warming between 1998 and 2017 has caused a tremendous 2.9 trillion direct economic loss. Is that part of it is the one which is the chief culprit in the global warming is carbon dioxide, that it has now 414 parts per million when we calculate in the month of August 2020. And this is almost three top carbon emitters, that is US or China, US and India. The three top carbon emitters, they have to get into the mode that the need of the hour for the three top carbon emitters, that is China, US and India, they have to come up with a drive, and the drive is decarbonization. The drive is decarbonization. Yes, we need to get into the mode of that. We need to make sure that the carbon dioxide, which is a chief culprit of the global warming, has to be cut, has to be reduced, and these three top carbon emitters have to work, and the need of the hour for the three countries or the three carbon emitters is to go ahead with the drive, that is drive decarbonization. And this is the key word for you all as a civil servant aspirants to focus for the prelims as well as mains examination. And air pollution has definitely fallen because of the COVID-19 outbreak in India and elsewhere in across the world also. But again, because of the economic activity which has been increasing, or the business revival has taken place in India and elsewhere in various other countries across the globe, that is definitely again making sure that the rise in the carbon emission is taking up or is surging very high, and definitely it is need for India and the entire global countries that they need to take strong action. Action has to be taken strongly to make sure that the emissions in India and across the world, global warming has to be contained. And now we will focus at the repercussions of the global warming. So what does repercussion means? The consequences of the global warming. So we have seen the heat waves in Delhi, we have seen the floods in southwest China, we have seen or experienced the catastrophic forest fires in California this year, and these are all indicative of the existential danger what the global warming would be definitely providing to the humankind. So in this regards, we need to make sure that we have to contain the climate change. We have to make sure that the carbon emissions are restricted. Otherwise, the repercussions are very clear. And we have seen in India, especially in this summer and now in the monsoon, southwest monsoon, and also in the northeast or retreating monsoon in India also, we have seen we have the entire excessive flooding taking place, and all of a sudden you have a dry spell, a long dry spell, and after a long dry spell you have again flooding which is taking place. So this is a very clear indication that India is also experiencing, and it is also a victim of the global warming. The excessive flooding again followed by a dry spell, that is long dry spell again followed by a flooding. So this is very clearly, or it is an indicative of the existential danger for global warming. And if you look at China, which is the largest carbon dioxide emitter, has definitely taken an initiative, and it has announced that it will go ahead with a balancing out its carbon emission with various measures which will be coming up before 2060. So when China has come up, or it has announced that it will balance out its carbon emission by 2060, so the spotlight or the impact is now on to US and India, because it is China, US and India, the three top emitters, that is the second and third, that is US second and India third carbon emitters in the world. So definitely now China has taken an initiative by announcing that it will balance out its carbon emissions by 2060. So this is also a very important key phrase for you all to understand that how the China has come up with an initiative, and definitely India can be the first movers in the entire developing countries in the world in going ahead with the two concepts, that is taxing and switching from carbon intensive fuels like coal to various other alternatives, so that it can create a drastic change in making sure that the carbon emissions are lowered. So taxing and then switching to alternatives, that is from carbon intensive fuels to alternatives. And definitely the most important way to cut the effluents while earning revenue. So here what we are trying to do is, while you are taxing, you are trying to cut the effluents, that is the emissions, while earning. So you are reducing the carbon emissions, at the same time you are earning revenue. That is India, if it is in the mode of as a developing country in the world in going ahead with the taxing, that is carbon tax. Now the concept called as carbon tax comes into existence in our entire discussion. So this is to price the carbon content of the domestic production, not only domestic production but also imports. So it is in regards to the production, and it is also in regards to the imports of all the carbon emissions or the carbon content which we are into the mode of having that process of emitting the carbon emissions. And the International Monetary Fund, which has endorsed the European Union's plan of carbon levies, that is carbon tax on imports. So definitely the European Union, which has gone ahead with the plan of carbon tax on the imports of the goods which are part and parcel of emitting carbon emissions. So there should be tax on the imports also, and that the International Monetary Fund has endorsed the European Union's plan. So thereby even India can be the first movers in the developing in the developing countries in the world to go ahead with the taxing, to cut the effluents while also earning revenues. Now we will look at what is the need for stronger action. Definitely the need of the hour is the need for stronger action. The need of the hour is the need for stronger action. And definitely India has committed that it will go ahead with the 40% of its electricity capacity from non-fossil fuels by 2030. So definitely India is also committed to make sure that the carbon emission as the third largest emitter is also making it very clear that it is for cutting the carbon emissions. So it has committed that 40% of the electricity capacity would be produced by the non-fossil fuels by 2030, and also it will lower the ratio of emissions to the GDP by 1/3, which has been as per the 2005 levels. So as per the 2005 levels, all the countries in the world are definitely trying to lower the carbon emissions, so that they have their domestic countries trying to lower the carbon emissions, and then overall globally also they will lower the carbon emissions. So domestically every country will lower the carbon emissions, and in turn globally they will lower the carbon emissions. So India has also been committed in making sure that it is taking a strong action to lower the rate of emissions of GDP by 1/3 from 2005 level. And definitely India is going ahead with a smart approach. The smart approach is what? Pricing carbon. So definitely you are pricing, you are levying tax on the goods which are definitely emitting carbon. So it is in regards to the plan that 40 large companies to price carbon, and also the government incentives for electric vehicles and environmental tax which has been announced in 2020-2021 budget. So it is very clear that a small step is being taken up, and it is a smart approach in regards to the companies pricing the carbon, the government incentives for the electric vehicles. So government is making sure that it will go ahead with provide the incentives for the one who is going ahead with the or purchasing the electric vehicles, the manufacturer, and also in regards to it will add value even to the consumer also. And the third one is the environmental tax, which has been announced in the 2020-2021 budget. So this is the smart approach. In the smart approach, we have the three ways, and one way to price carbon is through emission trading. So this is a keyword. So what is the emission trading? It is just making sure that we are setting a maximum amount of allowable effluents from the industry. So you are setting a maximum amount. You are taxing an amount wherein you say that okay, fine, you can go ahead with allowing the effluents. That means carbon emission can take place from the industries, but you need to pay the maximum amount and permitting those with low emissions. So the one who are the industries which are actually the effluents are low, or the low emission is actually from the industries, so those industries will be permitted. So this is emission trading. One is the one who are allowing maximum effluents, they would be charged maximum, and the one who are going with the low emissions, that is the industries which are with the low emissions, they would be given permission to sell their extra space. So this is the keyword which is very crucial, emission trading. And we will also look at the various countries in the world wherein they have implemented carbon tax or carbon pricing and it was successfully implemented. So we will look at those countries which have implemented and it was successful. So now if you look at China, China is coming up with a pilot project called as carbon trading, as we have looked at emission trading. The same way the new concept in China is carbon trading has really shown success. And if you look at the other side of it, that is European Union and also American states have also been very successful in implementation of the carbon tax, that is in regards to the regional greenhouse gas initiative taken up by US Northeast. And then even the Sweden, that is Scandinavian country, that is Sweden, also has introduced the carbon tax, which it has introduced initially with 33 euros per ton in 1991, but later on it has increased the carbon tax per ton to 120 euros. So definitely it is being a successful, and they have increased the carbon tax per ton, which was in the year 1991 33 euros, and then later on over a period of time it has been increased to 120 euros per ton, and that has been introduced. Carbon tax has been introduced in manufacturing sector, agriculture, and also in the forestry. And if you compare with the UK, so UK has also gone ahead with making sure that imposing or introducing the carbon tax, and once it has introduced the carbon tax, the coal usage of the coal has fell sharply in UK, and the amount, that is they have gone ahead with per ton $25 per ton in the year 2013. That is the carbon tax introduced by UK. And when we look at UK, again once they have introduced the carbon tax in 2013, the greenhouse gas emissions have fallen to the lowest level since 1890. So look at the way it was, that is carbon tax or carbon pricing has been a successful method or measure to make sure that the lowering of the carbon emissions, so that the global warming or the global climate change will definitely be in a positive trend. And the another country, that is British Columbia, which is a province of Canada, has also introduced the carbon tax, or they have levied charges on the goods which are or which would be emitting carbon or emitting carbon dioxide in the year 2008. And Canada has also implemented the carbon pricing tax, and which has been implemented successfully. And we have looked at even China, which has come up with carbon pricing. It has recommended to go ahead with the carbon pricing, that is $40 per metric ton. So it is almost high compared to UK also. UK is $25 and then China is imposing or recommending $40 per metric ton. And then now we will focus at the subtopic called as challenges which will arise with taxing on the carbon or the carbon taxes. So it is definitely difficult to measure how much carbon is produced by actually imposing the carbon taxes or levying the goods which are part of carbon emissions. It is difficult to measure how much carbon is produced, and therefore it is also difficult to know the level of carbon tax to be charged. So this is the challenge. So definitely there are few challenges. We are focusing those challenges, and this will be certainly very useful for the mains examination. So that my entire current issue based which I am discussing now in regards to the carbon tax is useful for prelims as well as mains UPSC perspective, because I have taken up various subtopics, and those subtopics are very crucial that those can be as a short notes in your mains answer writing. And the another challenge is that it is difficult to know the true cost of carbon emission. It is also difficult to know the true cost of carbon emission on the environment and also on the future generations. So these are the challenges. No doubt the implementation is being successful, but there are challenges, and that is what has to be looked at, and there has to be a way forward to overcome the challenges. And the carbon taxes can cause the possibility of tax evasion. So there could be a possibility, or there may be a possibility, that because of the carbon taxes, the possibility of tax evasion can also take place, and these carbon taxes may need global agreements. So these agreements have to be successfully implemented, and that is the basic challenge to be implemented in any particular country or globally itself. And carbon taxes may discourage investments. So here what we are talking about is foreign investors. So definitely when the carbon taxes are high, so the foreign investors may not really showing any kind of confidence to come and invest in India or elsewhere in any other country which has a higher carbon tax, and therefore they are definitely, the carbon taxes will discourage the investments, and while they discourage the investments, it will reduce the profitability of the foreign investors, and thereby they will not get into the particular country in making sure that they are part of the entire business model. And the countries may be having a free ride on others. Few countries may be having a free ride on others, so that they are always trying to impose few countries to reduce carbon emissions and to reduce the impact of global warming. I repeat, countries may have free ride on others. Few countries or couple of countries may have a free ride on others, wherein they can make sure that they are trying or they are pressurizing few countries, least developed countries or developing countries are being pressurized to reduce the carbon emissions and to reduce the impact of the global warming. For example, as the US President Donald Trump has left the Paris Agreement 2015 on the global warming, so that they do not want to cut short the carbon emissions, but they definitely want the developing countries such as India, Brazil and South Africa and Japan also to make sure that they reduce the carbon emissions, and they would be also being part of reducing the impact of the global warming and carbon, and that is the what we are experiencing, the challenge from the developed countries onto the developing countries. And a global carbon tax may curtail economic activity, because when the carbon tax may discourage investments, so definitely it will impact the economic activity, and especially in the poor developing world, because small increase in energy cost will definitely have an impact or have a cascading effect on those particular poor developing countries, but the developed world may simply be able to pay. So that is what the economic activity would be negative because of the carbon taxes, which would also discourage investment and further impact the economic activity. So these are the challenges which you can definitely take it for the mains examinations. And now we will look at the way forward. way forward for imposing a carbon tax. So definitely we know that India is one among the nations which has been badly hit by the climate change, and big economies like India can also or should also use their global monopsony. What do you mean by monopsony? That is a single buyer will have the entire control of the market, or a market situation in which there is only one buyer. So India can use the global monopsony and the power of a large buyer. So these two can be used by India, emerging economy. India can take up this and they can go ahead with imposing carbon tax as European Union has actually forecasted, or it has envisaged, and which was agreed by the International Monetary Fund. And the focusing on trade is also vital. So it is not only in regards to the domestic, that is imposing the carbon tax on domestic manufacturers, but also on the imports is very important, and that has to be on because of these the trade is vital, and it reducing the domestic carbon content, and it would not avert any harm if imports remains carbon intensive. That means we need to focus on domestic and we need to focus on the imports also, and a market oriented approach. This is a keyword. So the way forward is that India should come up with a market oriented approach. Why? To tax and to trade carbon domestically, to tax and to trade carbon domestically, and to induce the same kind of market oriented approach even through the international trade and also through diplomacy, which is definitely a way forward to make sure that we are also part of imposing the carbon tax or carbon pricing, which has been successfully implemented in American countries or in the European Union. So we can also go ahead with imposing the carbon tariff, and this is a way forward for the carbon tariff. So I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable one, and which will certainly be a useful for both prelims and mains examinations. So I would say a very big thank you to all, and a very good luck for your future preparation. And before you sign off, do like the video, share the video and subscribe the video. That is the Synthesis IAS Academy YouTube channel, wherein a blend of ideas do take place. And then I would certainly come up with the new topic, which would be issue based current affairs, which would certainly be an helpful, informative and knowledgeable session for prelims as well as mains examination. Thank you very much.